Happy Taco Thursday. What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Aaron B. And we got the Cowboy versus Patriots preview. And I got my guy Tyler Lamb, CEO, owner of Stadium Rent for the fearless sports fans out there. How's it going, Tyler?
Dude, I'm doing great. I gotta say, that's one of the coolest intros that I've ever seen to a show. It mixes up two of my favorite things, which happens to be tacos and touchdowns. So, really excited to be here and super pumped to get some Cowboys versus Patriots talk going on.
Hey, I appreciate you. So, since we're talking about tacos, what is your favorite taco?
I like carne asada tacos, with just with some cheese, maybe a little I don't know, maybe a little salsa in there too, but the carne asada tacos are where it's at for me. How about yourself?
For me, it would have to be. Ooh, you asked me a good question. It always changes up. I like a picadillo, and I
Ooh,
like a barbacoa.
nice.
With some avocado and a corn tortilla. So those are usually my go-to. Is there like a spot out there that you like to go to?
Yeah, out on Cape Cod, it's called a Neho. I like going to that place quite a lot. They have a nice little like outdoor bar, like with it's basically surrounding this big old tree, and the tree overhangs the whole place. It's a pretty nice vibe. They got some great tacos there too.
That sounds like a good location right there.
Yeah, we like it. We like it around here.
Absolutely. So before we get into deep into the show, I wanted to ask you, you're a Patriots fan. So what was that player growing up that made you like, yo, this is be my team and I'm gonna rock with him forever?
Well, I'm from Massachusetts, so it's not really like there was a player. It was more just to like this is life. Like this
Yeah.
is what it is. I feel the same about the Patriots as I do about the Bruins, the Celtics, and the Red Sox. They are just all like my teams, and typically the minority of people who live here are people who don't like the Patriots. So it's like you're just kind of it's just kind of it. And I was blessed enough to be born in the era and watch 6 Super Bowls happen. So it's like once I was basically born and they started winning. So it was like, yeah, why would I go anywhere else for any type of sports fix? It's a little different now, but like now I have 26 plus years of rooting for this team. So that just is what it is at this point. You know what I mean? My favorite player was Teddy Bruschi, though. Teddy
Oh,
Bruschi's that dude.
he was a thumper. And just being blessed and to be having you got to see 6 Super Bowl. Man,
Yeah,
man, I was
crazy.
one I the last time I seen my team was I was a little kid then and I wasn't really paying attention to it. So what
I,
is I'm
no, I remember, and I was in like first grade when they went to their first Super Bowl. I watched some of the game, but then the next day when we went to school, they had the replays on all of our TVs. Like literally, we spent like 3 hours of that day watching the game. Just like all the kids just kind of watching it together. And all the teachers were just freaking out watching the replay again. I didn't fully understand it back then, but now I do. And like thinking about it is like really cool that they did that. It's just, yeah, it really was incredible. So, but that's not the team we're trying to talk about today. So,
Hey, it happens. But what is like so when it comes to watching the Patriots, what's your favorite spot to go watch them? Is it at the house or is it like at a bar or something?
no, I like watching the games at my house. I have a nice like I have 3 TVs set up here.
Mhm.
And basically like if just like
Oh,
yeah, it's kind of difficult to go anywhere else because I'll have the Patriots 1 o'clock games. I'll have the Patriots in the middle TV. I have Red Zone on the left TV, and I have the next game that's on like Fox or
yeah.
whatever other channel on the third TV. So it's just a full football hub over here.
Oh, so you got it pretty good. That's what you're trying to say.
I mean, we've been building this for quite a while.
Hey, it looks good though. Like
Thank you, I appreciate it.
that's like a as long as you have that TV and that computer together, you're doing great right there. And just a nice couch to watch a game.
Yeah,
Don't know about
absolutely. Yeah, no way. How about you? How about yourself?
I usually like watching at the house. I used to be one that want to go to like Chili's or somewhere or bar, but I'm like, hey, I can have my own stuff going on, watching the game and everything. So
Yeah, I
I don't
get
get
that
no better. It don't get no better than being at the house watching the game.
for sure. get a couple of friends over. That's just the way it is around here, at least.
Yeah, absolutely. But what is that go-to snack that you go for when it comes to?
Right now it changes occasionally. My dad does cook up food when he's like available, but I do like to eat the Fritos honey barbecue
Yeah.
twists. Those things are real nice. But yeah, stuff like that.
Okay. Okay, that's really good right there. So getting into the to the game. So we're gonna look at some let me see. I got it right here. We got to get into the state of the Patriots so far this year.
As you can see my face, the state of the Patriots is not it's not what I'm used to. To be completely honest, I think that Bill Belichick, the GM, needs to go away because it's kind of getting clear to me at this point that we're a well coached team that has some solid players, but when it comes down to it, there's too much talent deficiency between us and the higher level teams that like your team right now.
Yeah,
Like you guys have a lot of talent on that team. I don't know about coaching. Not the
yeah,
biggest Mike McCarthy guy.
I get you.
But the talent that you guys have on the team with Dak, your offensive line when they're healthy, Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, CeeDee Lamb, like it's just night and day from kind of what we're cooking with in the wide receiving room and the skill position group. I mean, we have a great defense, don't get me wrong, but like we have no right tackle, no wide receiver one. Our left guard's been plug and play, kind of like mix and match. So it's hard. I mean, we're a middle of the pack type of team, and you don't ever really improve that much from being a middle of the pack type of team. You either have to break it all down, start from the beginning, and build it all back up, or you have to get really, really lucky in free agency and just sign the key like the right people.
Yeah,
And both of those things are kind of combined with either spending money or using high draft capital on players that Bill Belichick does not like to spend money on or use high capital on, which is wide receivers, quarterbacks, the offense, like tackles now. Like it just doesn't seem like he's interested in trying to play that type of game. He's still trying to play it like it's 2000. You know what I mean?
yeah. Because that's an interesting thing that you bring up. Because when you think of the Patriots, when it comes to offensive line, you always had like a really good offensive line. Now you're telling me like that's kind of like some of the weak parts of that offensive line. The right tackle, and you said they're doing plug and play left guard. You would think you would try to invest into that position.
Yeah, no, you would. I mean, they did use a first round draft pick on Cole Strange, but like, don't mind my dog. He's being a crazy person right now.
Are you good?
They used a first round draft pick on Cole Strange at Chattanooga, but like when you draft a guard in the first round, they need to be like Zach Martin. They need to, like your guy Zach Martin. They need to be like Quentin Nelson, like immediate starter every year, every game played, high level all pro type of player. And Cole Strange, I don't think is that. So basically, they used a first round draft pick that they could have used on a multitude of different things. And they didn't. They went Cole Strange. And our right tackle is this dude named Verdarian Lowe or Calvin Anderson, and both of them were basically cut from their other teams. Like they weren't good enough to start on other teams, but somehow they're starting on our team, and it's a tough thing to try and see what you have in your young quarterback when you're not putting enough around him for him to be successful.
Yeah, you think you would try to put some players around him so he could do better. And when it came to Cole Strange, I think a lot of us were looking at him like that second or third round guy, and then surprisingly, the Patriots drafted him in the first round. I think a lot of us were head scratching, even non-Patriot fans, like you could have got him in the next round or so.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, the Patriots like intermedia like to bring it up and be like, oh well, he probably would have went between 40 and your next pick at 54. And it's like, okay, so we lost out on Cole Strange. There are a bunch of other guards you could have you picked up that could play the same type of role that Cole Strange plays. We just got a guard, Antonio Mafi, who has been playing since Strange has been injured. And he's much more of Strange is much more of an athletic move zone rusher type of guy. Mafi is more of your like typical refrigerator brick house type of you're not moving me type of guy.
Yeah.
And I personally think that's better suited for what type of blocking schemes we're trying to run now. But last year they had Matt Patricia at the helm of the offense, which made no sense either. And he wanted to try and run zone schemes, so he wanted more athletic linemen. So I think that's why he took Cole Strange.
Yeah, I remember that, and I was like, this guy's mainly been a defensive guy, and we're going to switch him over to offense.
Wasn't it? It wasn't it.
Yeah, like absolutely. So the next thing is key matchups. What are like some key matchups you're looking for in this game?
I mean, dude, I'm looking at the defensive rookie of the month and Christian Gonzalez. If you want to talk about hits, we got a hit there. That kid's a stud. Going again, week one, he matched up against AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. He held his own for the most part in his first NFL start. Then he goes and gets Tyreek Hill coverage. He picks off to on cover while he's covering Tyreek Hill. He stayed with him for most of the game. Nobody can stay with Tyreek Hill for a full game. That's impossible with that type of speed. But he did very, very, very good for a rookie in his second game against arguably the best wide receiver in football. Then he basically shuts down Garrett Wilson on all the snaps that he plays him on. Now it's Christian Gonzalez versus CeeDee Lamb. If CeeDee Lamb wins this matchup, you guys are going to beat us pretty bad. If he can kind of contain Lamb, it hopefully it should be a closer game. But then the second matchup this kind of folds into my next point.
Okay,
it's Micah Parsons versus Verdarian Lowe, some dude you've never heard about before, and we all know what's going to happen there. Micah Parsons is going to be eating Mac Jones's tacos in his own backfield. Not good. Not a great situation there. And if he's not matched up on Lowe, it's going to be DeMarcus Lawrence, who, despite some people thinking he's a little bit older and out of his prime, I am not one of those people. I think he's a bad man, and he's scary when you're on the other side of facing him. I don't like it. Typically, you would be concerned on your side about not having Trayvon Diggs, but there's really not a guy on the Patriots that Diggs needs to, fully match up against. So it's like they have Stephon Gilmore. Gilmore can lock up Devontae Parker, and then Kendrick Bourne is an okay to good wide receiver, but I don't think he warrants having Trayvon Diggs on him. So I think that you guys can survive not having him there. But yeah, I think those two key matchups to watch are CeeDee Lamb versus Christian Gonzalez and Micah Parsons versus whichever edge or whichever tackle even if it's Trent Brown. I don't have a bunch of faith in Trent Brown to stop him. They don't have what Parsons does well is what Trent Brown's weakness is. Parsons is really fast. He's explosive off the edge. He can get around people with that swim move, and he uses underneath leverage. And Trent Brown's literally 6'9", so he has a hard time staying down on people. So like either way you cut it, you can put him on either side, and it's a bad matchup for the Pats offensive line.
Yeah, when it comes to Michael Parsons, they're going to put him out the outside on that left or that right side, and they'll sometimes put him inside. He's just basically, like I always say, he's a chess piece type of guy. Y'all kind of have that. Y'all have that guy into Matthew Judon, who a lot of people don't really talk about. I think he has like 6 sacks already.
It's between 4 and 6, but he racks up those numbers early in the season. Yeah. I just hope that it stays consistent throughout the whole season. But yeah, he is a very underrated player in the league. A lot of people don't give him the credit he deserves because he's a wrecking ball for sure.
Yeah, because y'all kind of do that similar thing with him where you move him around and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If I could say one more, I mean, if it depends on the snap count for this guy, but Keon White, our second round pick, he's a bad man. That dude's way faster than I thought he was, and he's great with his hands. He has good leverage. He understands pad level. And depending on the injuries on your side of the offensive line, will like if you guys are missing what is it? Not Tyler Bass, it's Tyler
Uh,
something.
oh, Tyler Smith.
Yeah, Tyler Smith. I think he's your right whoever your right guard is. If you're missing one of
Martin.
those interior guards there, then it's gonna be a little bit harder of a day for Dak Prescott to get things going with that pass rush. I do think the Patriots have a really solid pass rush. So yeah.
Yeah, I actually was checking on the offensive line because they've been going back and forth on the injury report, but Zach Martin and Tyler Smith did practice. No, Tyler Biotish practiced this week, so that's a big plus. I probably at left guard, I would like to see T.J. Bass at the left guard and then Tyler
TJ
Smith at
Bass.
left tackle. Yeah, T.J. Bass is really good when it comes to being in the run game. He just needs to get better in the pass pro. And the surprising thing, he was a UDFA guy because I know he was a tackle back at Oregon, but at guard, that's where he fits better at. So either way, just I think we have a solid offensive line better than last week. And
Yeah.
it was just one of those games like they thought they could just walk on and run over the Cardinals. But I think this game is going to be like you're saying, it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a blowout for me either way, because they're both compatible teams.
It's unfortunate that the Cardinals beat you guys last week because I was really hoping for us to like kind of get that 3-0, like, oh, we're just gonna roll out there and kind of beat the Pats. Now they know they have to show up. They're pissed off that they just lost to arguably one of the bottom feeding teams in the NFL currently, and I think that defense is just going to be furious that they let that go down. So it's this perfect storm of what I really didn't want to happen when we were rolling into Dallas. So
yeah, I'm gonna be honest, y'all gonna have to deal with a pissed off defense, but it's just the offense. When it comes to our offense, I'm still trying to figure out, can we I know we're jumping the gun a little bit between keys to victory. Is like when it comes to getting to the goal line and that red zone, I'm still questioning about that. Like you can't try to win a game based on your kicker getting all the points and everything. So figuring out how to get to that, figuring out find a red zone threat, because y'all have one in a former Cowboy player that we'll talk about in a little bit. But we could jump into keys to victory because we're already kind of getting into there. So
yeah.
When it comes to keys to victory, I think one of the things is the defense has got to wake up. You let the Cardinals get 28 points. It's like you got to play physical and just be like that attacking defense when it comes to the offensive line. And then the secondary, you have Stephon Gilmore, who is a former Patriot, and the Bland. I know Bland was mainly being at the nickel, but he's gonna be our outside. And then Jordan Lewis, who had a solid game last week. Everybody's got to step up when it comes to the defense, and I think they will. But into my next thing is you got to stop the outside run especially on the left side, because I know y'all like to use Ramondre Stevenson and of course Zeke, who they do well on the left side, and that's where y'all gonna attack us at, because that's what you looked at when James Conner was playing against us last week. Because I know they're gonna look at those weaknesses. Okay, we're gonna see what they're gonna do when it comes to that.
Yeah. I think something that you do definitely have to give the Cardinals coaching staff and their offense credit for last week is they moved Josh Dobbs out of the pocket. They rolled him out left, and then he got rid of the ball like pretty fast for a majority of that game. So he didn't have the ball like too he didn't hold it too long. And they also moved him out of the pocket away from Micah Parsons. So like they had the design plays to him rolling out and having players cross him, and then he would hit those checkdowns and just eat up little bits of yardage instead of having negative plays. I would like to see the Patriots do a similar thing like that. And then, like you said, kind of like I think the best way to stop Micah Parsons in the run game is to run right at him and then kick out. So if you run to that side and then bounce out when he tries to make his inside move, then he kind of gets caught in between two, like, in between his move and then in between another dude trying to block him inside. I think that's what the Patriots need to like live off of in this game. But like you said, man, like it's going to be a pissed off defense. They're not thrilled, and I don't have a large amount of faith in the talent ability. I think the Patriots can scheme up the proper ways to get things done, but from what I've seen from the offense, it's again, it's about scoring points, man. It's about moving the football, and we don't seem to do enough of that enough of the times in the game. I love our defense, but if they're out there for 40 minutes, they're going to be tired. They're going to be giving up more plays as the game goes on, which kind of has been the story of this team. And I think that at least for the Patriots, it comes down to longer offensive possessions and then finishing those possessions. On the defense, it comes down to, can we get the pressure on Dak, and can Christian Gonzalez contain CeeDee Lamb? That's where we're kind of, can we make Dallas find somebody else to beat us pretty much on offense instead of Lamb and Pollard?
Yeah, that's one of the next thing I want to look at is like you're saying, they're going to try to contain those guys. Who's going to be that next guy that step up to be that third option? We've been really having high hopes for Brandon Cooks. He's been a really good receiver throughout his career. It's like, could he be that guy that steps up this game? I know this is his former team and everything. He's usually that route run. He can be that deep threat as well. But can he be that guy that steps up this week? I know he was out last week. And our tight ends got to step up. They got to be our security blanket. If you're dropping the ball and everything, like where it's catchable, like what you got to have that security blanket. And I think you got to utilize your fullback. Because I just looked at when y'all played against the Miami Dolphins, how they used Raheem Mostert. They had a guard pulling effectively. They had their fullback in there. There's an extra blocker so they could run outside. I think that's the way how to utilize a Tony Pollard or a bursty guy like Rico Dowdle and get Deuce Vaughn involved in there, because he's really good in space. Like, you drafted him, you got him as your third running back, utilize it, because we don't have a bell cow back. You got to go by running backs by committee. And I think when it comes to both sides, it's going to be who runs the ball effectively, and then it goes into doing the passing game.
Yeah, I mean, so when you bring up Deuce Vaughn there, I think that's a perfect guy that could just ruin my day on Sunday. You know what I mean? Just the type of guy who hasn't really had a giant role going forward. And I think that he could really cause some problems for the Patriots with his speed, his contact balance, the way that like they not necessarily don't game plan for him, but he isn't the focal point of the game plan, if that makes sense. Or a dude like maybe Michael Gallup could be the guy that hurts us. I think that it's always one of like the classic Bill Belichick staple is, we're not going to let you win how you want to win. So if you're going to beat us, it's going to have to be other guys. And those other guys are like nightmare fuel for me. You know what I mean? Because that's when we lose, is when we let the other players kind of dominate the game. So yeah, I think Deuce Vaughn, Michael Gallup, those are Jake Ferguson, even like Luke Schoonmaker, like a guy like that. Like I think that those are what's going to cause us more problems than a CeeDee Lamb or a Tony Pollard, because Belichick's going to spend the whole week getting it into these guys' heads to not let them do things. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on how the Pats kind of win that game.
Yeah, I know that Bill Belichick was spending hours on hours focusing on our star players, but it's like when you look at a team that y'all lost to, it's always like that one player. Like when it came to Dolphins, it was Raheem Mostert, and I'm trying to think who.
River Craycraft, Braxton Berrios. I mean,
yeah,
those guys had great games.
Yeah, usually just like random guys. But I think it's going to be a close game. Before we get into it, the last part, we're going to do our predictions. What do you think the score is going to be for this game?
I mean, I like to predict a Patriots win here, but like I'm going to be realistic and do Cowboys 28, Patriots 17. It's gonna be like a 20-17 game right up until through 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. And then the Pats are going to be driving and then they're going to not score. And then, then the Cowboys are just going to go down and score a dagger touchdown. And that's going to be the game.
So
that's
my
where
score. So for my score for the game, it's kind of similar. I have them the Cowboys winning 24-17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think I think the last points are going to go to Brandon Aubrey. I think I said somebody else's name, but we can always go through kickers. It's kind of hard to figure out which one is which, but he's been solid. But I think this is the game where you see a Brandon Cook step up and get a touchdown, and then I think this will be the game where you see more consistency out of Jake Ferguson, and they run the ball effectively, just getting down the field, and hopefully they get the red zone offense going because we're 27th right now, and that's not a good position to be at when it goes deeper into the season.
But, yeah, I could totally see that score happening as well. I just don't think the Pats score more than 17 points in this game. It's just sad. So, at least sad for me, not sad for you.
Yeah, when it comes to y'all, I think Bill Belichick just needs to wake up and say we need a wide receiver one or something. It's not rocket science.
Been saying that for years, my man. Been saying that for years now, my man. It's like you don't have Tom Brady anymore. You can't just make anything work. It's just like you need somebody to go and be that guy. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. I think we're at similar wavelengths here. I hope I'm wrong. Hoping I'm wrong.
Yeah, I still think it's gonna be a close game. But lastly, before I let you go, got another game going on right now. But yeah. Who do you got winning this game tonight? I think it's gonna be a close game.
I have Green Bay winning this game. I think that I don't know. I think that these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I think that Jared Goff has more issues playing outdoors than he does indoors at home. The home road splits are a little different for Goff as well. I might just be a Jordan Love believer, but Matt LaFleur also is 13-7 straight up as an underdog, and he's 16-4 against the spread. So that means this game's going to be tight, be close, and I think that the Packers pull it off with a little home field advantage there.
I got the Packers winning too, and I did check that Aaron Jones is going to play. Now you got a running back tandem of Jones and Dillon, so I think that'll be vocal points playing against the Lions. And then, like you're saying, Jordan Love's actually been having a solid season so far. I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, he doesn't be average or below average, but he's got a solid game so far. And then it's just like you got two young teams playing against each other. But I think I have the Packers winning. I have it a close game. I don't have like an actual score, but I think it's gonna be like I think between those two are gonna be those teams in the NFC North that are gonna be between who's gonna win that championship between those two in that division.
Yeah, this is going to be a really, really important divisional matchup. Whoever wins this has the leg up in the division because I've been saying this for like 2 years now too. The Vikings are freaking fraudulent, man. That's a fraudulent team. Now people are finally starting to see it because they're not winning any of these one-score games that they've been in for 3 years straight. They have the most one-score games in the last 3 years out of anybody else. And last year they went 11-0 in those games. Lady Luck's looking at them like, yeah, you got over on me last year. It's not happening again this year, fellas. You're going to fumble the ball 10 times in 3 games. This is what I'm here for. And then I didn't want to talk about the Bears. The Bears are making me sick. So
I think they're making all of us sick. And like, y'all might not even win a game this year, just the way y'all playing right now.
Yeah, it's breaking down to that. Also, just like showing a serious effort and commitment issue on that team as well. Like you're seeing people take plays off. I'm pretty sure they have teams going against them on third down convert at 60% of the time. You converting on third down 60% of the time. It just your defense just isn't getting off the field at that point, like at all.
That's the whole
So
game.
yeah, you're just on defense constantly, and your offense is just sitting there just doing whatever they're doing. I don't think it's fully on Justin Fields. I think that coaching staff has got to go, but that's where I'm at for that division this game.
Yeah, you got to start with a new regime, and they just don't. They haven't put any work into that offense. They just like we'll throw some guys in there. Don't invest into the offensive line. We're just gonna be like, oh, it's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I honestly thought they took some big steps this offseason, acquiring DJ Moore, getting a good right tackle, and Darnell Wright. But they just don't have the scheme, or they haven't figured out how to get to Justin Fields and like have him figure out his best way to be productive in the NFL. So yeah, I think they got to change their coordinator. I don't like their head coach, and their defensive coordinator just resigned about some whack stuff that we don't even need to go into. So
yeah, because they did add players, but they, like you're saying, they didn't set up a scheme for them to fit. They're just like,
not at all.
We'll just add players. If that we don't fit their strengths or anything, we'll be okay. And now you see what's going on. But hey, I appreciate you for being on the show, Tyler. Before I let you go, where can they find you at, and where they could check out Stadium Rent?
So yeah, you can follow Stadium Rant's main account at Stadium Rant. Then check us out at stadiumrant.com. Basically, all of our other socials are similar at Stadium Rant. And then you can find me at Lamb4752 on Twitter. Yeah, just go check out our articles on our website at stadiumrant.com, and that'll make us really happy.
Yes, sir. Yeah, but I appreciate you, Tyler, for being on the show. I know it's gonna be we got some good football coming, college and pro football. So y'all have a good one. Peace.